Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. McIntosh here, wanting to provide you with just some thought process around the waters in which we're going to continue to journey and navigate through to provide those excellent learning outcomes for our scholars. And so I know that for many of you, we have, a very richly diverse background in various modes of providing instruction on a daily basis. But I would ask that as we consistently are embracing that growth mindset of moving beyond just what previously we have provided for our scholars and moving into more of a distance learning module, I would ask just for a few moments that you would begin to just think about some of the various attributes that must still be at the basis of what we provide as we move forward. And so, for a few moments, I would like to expound upon the 5 B's that we should be as we are providing that distance learning modules of instruction for our scholars, not only at Cherokee, but this by all means is a best practice or best practices for all educators, no matter what level. And so the first thing that I would ask is that we would just be familiar. I think as we're moving forward with this, when I say be familiar, we're just making sure that we are familiar with, the resources, the programming, and just, having a general frame of knowledge to then begin planning our instruction. Be familiar also with those standards. With the Oklahoma academic standards, we must be familiar with those because we're wanting to ensure that there is a clear and distinct alignment from the Oklahoma academic standard, which then we know will work with us as we begin to compile and formulate our objectives. And then by that means we then know what specific learning activities and experiences that we will guide a scholar on that align to reach not only the learning objective, but then it's backed by the Oklahoma academic standards. So as we're moving forward, just remembering that we are being familiar. Also, I'd like to ask that we would be authentic, knowing that we're being true to ourselves, and that will definitely be articulated, and that would be also understood by our teachers, our students, as well as our parents and families. We want to be sure that, our actions and the way in which we're communicating with students and families of any age, whether it's pre-K all the way up to 12, that we are being authentic in, incorporating various learning styles and mechanics and resources to ensure that we're reaching each and every student where they are, and to be sure that our intent at the end of the day is to always provide something and make them better. That's what we definitely want to do. And so, some may struggle, and some we may find that we're having to, monitor and adjust in ways that we may have not previously even, thought about or even dreamed we would be doing or providing for a student to be successful. But, being authentic in everything that we do, and just, that transparency piece along with authenticity. If there's something that we don't know, then we just reach out and, figure out where we can find the resources that we need to ensure not only personal success, but the success for each and every student in our classes. I would also ask number 3 that we be flexible. At a time like this, that's one thing that I know each and every one of you are capable of, because we've had to be flexible right here and the right now. With the start to the school year going to be drastically different, with the way in which we're now providing instructional opportunities for students to be successful, it will require us to be very flexible in how we are going to build those relationships with students, how we're accepting assignments, how we're providing instruction not even just the instructional of the lesson, the instructional component, but the instructions to how a student will then complete their assignments in order to provide that understanding as a formative, assessment module through online assignments and even actual assessments to provide us as teachers with the understanding that a student either is going to need some additional supports to be successful with that lesson or that skill and content, or if they have mastered what we were intending to provide them in the overall lesson. So I'm asking that we would remain very flexible in this time. One other thing I might say is be concise. We can always fine tune things. We want to make sure that, what we're providing to a student, in the absence of us being there physically, we want to make sure that virtually we are providing them with clear, explicit instruction that can guide, that can, scaffold them at that moment while they're trying to master that content, and then they be able to then communicate it, that they know what they're doing, that our expectations are set in procedures so that each and every day, we're unwavering behind the screen or whatever it may be, behind the online video programming, but that we are the same and that we don't change. And so just asking that we are concise with each and everything that we do. And finally, I would ask that we would be simple. Then that means that we're not complicating things. We're not making things, a lot harder, or reinventing the wheel, if you will. Each and every one of you are a phenomenal educator. And we know, even myself as a school leader, as well as other leaders, that, we have at our disposal opportunities that are not always afforded by even other school sites and school districts in our community, but we are able to make it a phenomenal learning experience. I believe that, and I know that together we are better. And so I must ask, as we move forward, that we adapt to some of these B attitudes, if you will, as we are moving forward and providing distance learning outcomes for each and every student with Muskogee Public Schools. We can do this, and as I always say, I still believe that the best is definitely yet to come. Once again, Dr. McIntosh speaking from the heart in regards to providing sound instruction for the best being yet to come educationally and personally for each and every one of our students and families. Take care.